Good evening, everyone. I'm Kermit,
And I'm Cosmo.
live to you from North America. This is PPR Racing Pole Position Racing. Tonight is Division 1, Season 1, Race 3 at Shanghai. We've got quite a race set up for you tonight. We had a pretty good race last week, a lot of clean racing, a lot of close racing. Hopefully, we'll see something like it again this week. Cosmo, what are your hopes for this week?
Some good, clean racing. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good weekend.
Fantastic. I think so too. So Shanghai International Circuit's where we're at tonight. 28 laps total, 16 turns, 9 to the right, 7 to the left. A lot of very fast sweeping turns and a few hard, hard slow turns. The fastest repeatable lap time we've seen online is a 129.166. All right, let's jump over to our driver wrap up. Last week we now have a good showing from Ferrari. First week fourth in Australia for Rogue, a DNF for Ruta, unfortunately, but they bounced back last week with Bahrain, with a first from Rogue and a second from Ruta after Capita Hood's unfortunate spin on the last lap. Second in the constructors, we have Mercedes, that is Getchum and Cream. With the DNS from Getchum last night, or last week, he was not able to join us, but from Cream, he finished sixth, and that's good enough to bump Mercedes up a spot. Haas finished last week. Sky Archangel finished eighth. Delirious finished ninth. Good showing from both of them. Pretty solid. We'll hope they can improve tonight. Renault is now in third with Capita Hood, a third place showing last week, and Persian King, 10th place showing last week. Red Bull's next. Stoney finished seventh in Bahrain, and Shea B finished 14th. A little bit of a downhill slide for Shea B from sixth. We'll hope he can pick it up this week. Alfa Romeo Kublai finished fourth in Bahrain, and Red Hornet finished 11th. Solid showing from them. Hopefully, we'll see something good out of Kublai again tonight. Racing Point, Bahrain, did not start from hammer time for the second week in a row. Hopefully, he'll be able to join us tonight, but we will find out soon. Gore, fifth place was enough to bring Racing Point up a few points and into top contention. Williams, a DNF from Dragonbone last week, and a 15th from Shazam. So only scoring points are from Australia. No points last week. Let's hope they can turn it around. McLaren did not finish for Terra in Australia and did not start in Bahrain. See if we see him tonight. Doc Block, a 12th and 18th. Still respectable, made it to the end, not enough to get them in the points. And bringing up the back, we have Toro Rosso with the DNF from Muffin Man in Australia, 13th in Bahrain, and Jay Warren, a DNF in Australia, and it did not start in Bahrain. And you could and our reserves here, we had two reserves with us last week: Ramrod, who finished 12th, and D Drum, who finished 17th. Driver Championship update. Rogue is now in first after his first place finish last week. Some idiot gets bumped down to second. Of course, did not join us, but took fastest lap as well as pole position in Australia. Sky Archangel with 22 points in third. Ruda in fourth place with 18 points. Getchum tied, that should say tied for fifth for both Getchum and Capita Hood. They are both tied for fifth in 15 points. Cream in seventh with 14 points. Kublai in 12th with 8 points. Dragonbone and Gore actually tied for ninth with 10 points. Shea B in 11th with 9 points. Stoney in 12th with 8th. Persian King in 13th with 5. Shazam in 14th with first. And then we have a bunch of drivers bringing up the rear. Tied for 15th, we have Red Hornet, Doc Block, Terror, Jay Warren, Muffin Man, Delirious, Hammer Time, Sloppy McFloppy, Stunt Riders, Higgs Boson, Faz, Racer 33, D Drum, and Ramrod. Constructors' Championship update. Ferrari, with an extremely strong showing last week, bolts themselves up into 55. Or, excuse me, into position one with 55 points. Mercedes takes the number two spot with 29 points. Haas F1 team takes the third spot with 22 points. Renault, fourth with 20 points. Aston Martin, a Red Bull Racing, now in fifth with 17 points. Alfa Romeo, sixth with 13. Racing Point and Williams Racing both tied for seventh with 10 points each, and McLaren and Red Bull tied for ninth with no points on the board. Hopefully tonight they'll be able to turn that around, get some points on the board. Let's take a look at our hot lap tonight. Take a look at what our drivers are gonna be up against. See how to navigate this track. let's take it away.
Welcome back to PPR Hot Laps. This week it is time for China. We are going on board of the Alpha of Sloppy McFloppy. Coming out of the last corner, clipping the apex, getting a good run onto the start finish straight, crossing the line now to get the lap started. Getting over to the left for the corners 1 through 4, just lifting through here, trying to bring as much speed as possible, just staying off the curbs, and then finally coming back and clipping the apex right there. Then down the little hill, just off the curbs again, and it's all about getting a run to turn 6. Want to be as fast as possible, get on the curbs on the exit, flat through the kink here, then get the car over the left, brake at about the 100, and clip the apex. Small lock up there, but that's okay. Now we enter the fast corners of the track through the long left-hander. There'll be a small lift, but then you want to get over to the left for the right, staying just off the curbs to start, but then coming back and clipping it very nicely. And then into the double left, all about getting a good run out of the second left, using all the space on the exit. Very well done by Sloppy there. And then braking just after the 100 for a very tight corner, where now it's all about maximizing speed for the straight. Run wide to get the best angle down the straight so you can get the power down nice and early, and getting over using all space on the exit. And now it's the long wait down the straight. Great place for overtaking, but now as he gets closer to the corner, look for the braking spot just before the 100. Try and slow it down, rotate the car, clip the apex, nicely done, small lockup, then get on the power again on the left, and then get quickly over to the right for the last corner. A lot of speed through here, use the space on the exit, and the lap is completed. A very nice lap by Sloppy McFloppy.
Ollie's and Sloppy, thank you for that hot lap. So, coming to the track this week, let's take a little closer look. So, the softs supposed to last 6 to 8 laps, mediums 13 to 17 laps, hards 19 to 22 laps. Cosmo in a 28 lap race, what kind of pit strategy do you think we're going to see here?
I think we're gonna see a one stop, but we're not gonna see a lot of softs. I don't think a lot of guys are gonna want to go on to the softs.
Yeah,
They
it
just
seems
don't last long enough.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It seems like the soft hard strategy is doable, but just one or two slide outs and you're pretty much past the window for those tires. You'll pretty much It's doable. We'll see how good our drivers tonight are on tire degradation, but we may have to see a two stopper. But I think you're right. With the medium hard, we can get us comfortably to the end of the race. What turns are we looking at as far as tire degradation? What's going to be the hardest on those?
Turn one is a rough one that almost 360-degree turn. So that's a pretty fast turn at the beginning too. Rough on the brakes going into the apex sometimes.
Yep, absolutely.
For
Very easy to
the
slide out. You're going full speed at the end of the main straight. Take a hard right hand turn, and then, of course, a braking zone going into turn two before the turn three, four complex.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting on the first lap too.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, it's a very open turn that just gets tighter and tighter. So the more the drivers decide to bunch up at the end of the main straight, the more they're going to get into trouble as they finish out turn two into turn three there. Yeah, that's always something interesting. I think another hard traction zone for the drivers to look out for tonight is just after turn 11 and to turn 12 and turn 13. I always like to think of it as the opposite of turn 1 and 2. You're basically have a hard left hand turn, a slightly more open right hand, and then a much more open right hand where you pretty much have to, in turn 13, where you pretty much have to floor the throttle as soon as your car is straight. Otherwise, you're going to end up losing a lot of time down that back straight.
Yeah,
And then, of course, we always have the hard braking zone going into turn 14 at the end of the back straight. Turn 15 typically is no big deal. Turn 16, it's very easy to run wide. I think we will have to watch out for that in qualifying. Typically, an easy one to run wide on. Other than that, it's not extremely easy to cut corners on this track, of course, but it's always possible.
Oh yeah, the opportunity is there, but it's just it's few and far between compared to some other tracks.
Yep, absolutely. So while we catch up with our drivers here in a second. All right. So we'll try and catch up with them quick. Looks like we're loading into the lobby currently. So, what have you seen, Cosmo, this last week as far as the actual Formula One season goes?
I haven't seen a whole lot, but all the teams have announced when they're coming out with their liveries, and I think what practice starts in week 2.5 weeks,
I
something
think
like
that's
that,
right.
on the 20th.
Yeah, February 19th through the 21st is test season 1, and February 26th through the 28th, I believe, is test 2. Both of those taking place in Barcelona, Spain. I think the biggest instance of news that came out from last week was that um, Aston Martin is deciding in 2021 to proceed
Oh,
with their own racing team. How do you feel about that?
yeah. Uh, I don't think they had much of a choice once Lawrence Stroll bought him, but I think that's kind of why he bought him. That's kind of a nice name to have with you, you know.
That's fair. Yeah, with the strolls comes quite a bit of money as well. There's no denying that. It's never bad to have that on your side. How do you think they're going to do? I mean, I assume it's always been kind of ambiguous to me as how much Aston Martin has been contributing to the Red Bull team. But it seemed to me like their major areas of contribution was in the chassis and aero package. Do you think they're going to be able to take a lot of that knowledge and transfer it easily into their own constructor's car?
I don't think it's going to matter quite so much just because 2021 is going to have such radically different regulations and stuff with, especially with the aero.
Yeah, that's a fair
That
point.
the chassis might help, but the aero stuff I don't think will really matter a whole lot.
Yeah, I think they're homologating a lot of the aero package to kind of take that out of the equation, at least for the first few years of the new regulation, to get the teams kind of up to speed, get them used to the idea of as we've talked about before, of a spending cap. Try and get them to cut down on their spending, of course, with the exception of their highest paid personnel on the team. I can't remember how many they get of those. It's one or two, but either way. So yeah, them running down the list here of car launches. February 11th is going to be Ferrari, Red Bull, Renault, both on the 12th, McLaren, Mercedes on the 13th, 14th. Oh, AlphaTauri, as they will be known in 2020, as instead of Toro Rosso, they're launching on the 14th as well. Williams will be launching on the 17th, along with Racing Point. And Alfa Romeo and Haas will both be launching on the 19th, the first day of testing. Do you think everyone's going to be ready? I know Williams had some issues last year with the car reveal. They couldn't get the car to the track in time. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to do it this year.
Yeah, I think there's enough continuity from last year that they'll have a car to put out there. You know,
Yeah, there wasn't a big
they
change.
right.
And of course, Mercedes, if they hold true to their name or hold true to their patterns in the past, they'll probably just bring the 2019 car, slap maybe some new paint on it, run that during practice, and not even show off the 2020 car till Australia.
We'll see.
Yeah, that would
They'll
be
have to test it a little bit, just a little bit.
just a little bit. Wonder if yeah, we'll see if they bring it to, last day of session 2 on the 28th or something like that. That would be interesting. So far, we have 16 drivers with us tonight. Stony, Getchum, Shay B, Ruda, Red Hornet. Third, which I assume is 33. We'll get confirmation on that. Dragonbone, 81, Doc Balak, Gore, Capita, Kublai, Persian King, Creamy Johns. Oh, we've got the Green Mamba in tonight, D-Drum, and then, of course, Kermit and Cosmo, your spectators. All right, bring that back to the better looking card there. All right, so Drive to Survive, that also comes out here soon as well. I believe that was, what, February 28th? Is that right?
Either that or the 22nd. Yeah.
All right, pretty pumped for that. I can't complain. Um, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they really bring the drama out, but makes it interesting, even though it's not all quite that crazy.
Yeah, what race do you think you're most excited for going into the Drive to Survive?
Germany was a fun race.
Yeah.
Mexico was a pretty fun race. Austria, there was quite a bit of controversy.
Yep, I agree with that.
You know, there's
Yeah,
quite a few good ones.
absolutely. I don't think any of them will be bad. I think Germany will be the most interesting. One thing, my hope for the season is they kind of focus on the midfield. I mean, obviously, Mercedes got out ahead early and just stayed ahead. Even though Ferrari was able to make strides in the end of the season, it will still, I think, be most fruitful to focus on the middle of the field. There was a lot of close battles, especially with Renault underperforming this year from what they had anticipated with Danny Ricciardo. Of course, the DNF in Australia, running over his wing on basically the first lap,
Yeah,
was always a disappointment. And then their penalty in Japan, was it?
yeah, where they got disqualified.
Yep, that's right. And I think that
Yeah,
was what, fuel monitoring issues?
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, some technical disqualification. So it'll be interesting, I think, to see how they do moving forward this season. If they could have avoided a lot of the penalties, disqualifications, and I guess other, how do you want to say it? Other complications, Daniel Ricciardo backing into, I believe it was Kvyat
yeah,
in
maybe.
Monaco or Baku. That was
Yeah,
always upsetting. I know Ricardo's pretty upset about that. So I think they'll be pretty strong this season. Of course, they have one less team to worry about as far as engine supplier. They were dropped by, was it McLaren?
yeah, but they got one more year with McLaren.
That's right, one more year with McLaren. And then has McLaren declared who they're moving to yet?
Yeah, the Mercedes, I think, in 2021, right?
That's right. Yep, they're picking up the Mercedes engine. They Well, Alonso at least cut ties with Honda, and so did McLaren. So I don't think they'll be going back there anytime soon. At least they'd look pretty foolish if they just picked the Honda engine up. Even though I have to say, I think it is probably the engine on the grid that has the highest ceiling, or the one with the room for most improvement.
Yeah, I probably agree with that. Although it is starting to look better than the Renault engine, and it's definitely more reliable than the Renault engine.
Yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, the Renault supposedly claims to have 1,000 horsepower. Um, in the engine, but obviously transferring that to the wheels is a different story. And getting the chassis, the drivetrain, the all of the components that go into an F1 car to handle that amount of horsepower always can be a challenge, um, and something that it will be interesting to see if they can overcome this season.
Looks like we're about to start here. We got one person in right before we started. It looks like Ramrod, right
Ramrod
before the bell.
joining in. Oh, got his team selection in at the last second. So let's take us over to qualifying. So new this week is the track map. We'll be able to have a little bit more control over what we see on the track, kind of how to call out accidents, maybe finding them as well. We'll see how it goes this week. Bear with us as we learn the controls. We're going to improve every week, but we'll see how tonight's race goes.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about the track map. We've been asking for this for a while from Cody's.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One of many things that we've been asking for a while. I think if they had to pick a couple things, probably one of the better things to implement. It allows for a lot of extra information to be out on the screen all at once. Let's queue up some. There we go. So we got 17 drivers on the grid today. Doc Block, Gore, D-Drum, the Green Mamba, the new entrant today. Persian King, Shay B, Ruda, Capita Hood, Rogue, Stony, Red Hornet, Ramrod, Third, Ketchum, Creamy Johns, Dragonbone, and Kublai. Looks like Ferrari, no, Alfa Romeo will be the first one on the pits, followed by a Ferrari. Alright, looks like Kubele was the first out.
Looks like we got a few on hards, but some guys are going to try the soft.
Yep, looks like they're gonna give it a shot. I'm always a fan of the strategy of going out on the slower tire first. You got a full 17 minutes for qualifying. You might as well see where you land on a more advantageous tire. Do you think a lot of those going out on the hards currently, do you think they're going to be happy with the hards, or do you think they're going to try and turn around and go to the mediums?
I don't think they have a set of mediums if they have a set of hards for qualifying, do they? I thought it was 3 sets of softs and a set of mediums, or 3 sets of softs and a set of hards.
Oh, that's a good question. Something we might have to pull for next week. Green Mamba has left this session. Hopefully he'll be able to join us again soon. That's right. Something we'll have to get for next week is the options for the drivers. Let's ride along with Kubele as he starts his first lap. A little bit of an interruption. Got it. Swerving back and forth, getting a little more heat into those tires before he turns the final corner. Slams his foot to the gas, taking out the pylon. Crossing the finish line and starting his time. Into turn 1. Careful not to scrub off too much speed, otherwise it's going to take you forever to get through these first 2 turn complexes. Into turn 2. Turn 3, just as tight as turn 2. Sweeping out into turn 4. Hard on the gas.
That's a nice line there.
Yeah, that was good. Foot to the floor. We'll see how good his entry into turn 1 was. It looked like it might have been a little wide, scrubbed off a little speed. A little too much speed too early. We'll see where his time shakes out. Nice.
A little wide there, though.
A little wide. Didn't see the lap time invalidation.
Not only you invalidated out there.
Now a turn complex that is the opposite of to back on this straight. Hard onto the brakes. Down in this penultimate corner. Last turn, being very careful not to run it too wide. Does a good job.
Right on the edge.
Crosses with the 131.7. Rudo will be next across the line with a 135.2. Stoney with a 132.8 goes second fastest. Looks like we'll have his teammate Shay B across the line next. Goes fourth fastest with the 137.1 on the softs. We got Gore in the Racing Point coming across the line next with the 134.0 goes third fastest. A couple of the Williams diving back into the pits. D-Drum goes sixth fastest with a 139.0. Dragon Bone fifth with a 135.3. Is that Virgin King coming down the main street? Creaming Johns goes fifth with the 135.3 on the hards.
And it looks like Ramrod put it into the wall on the mediums.
Persian King with a really good time on the hards, a 133.9. Best hard time so far. Capita Hood, a decent time on the hards as well, towards the bottom of the hard group with a 135.9. Take a look at Ramrod, he's on the outlap.
No, he's going to have to come back in. He was in the wall. I don't think... Maybe he's got some front wing left. He looked,
Most of it.
Looked like he almost put it in the wall then. Must have
saved it enough. Sometimes that can be enough, though. If you have a little bit of extra wear on your tires. You may not want to start the race with them, but we'll have to see. Dr. McShorty joined the session. Interesting to see where he slots in.
Rogue just gets out of the way for him there.
Into turn 7. Does a nice job to hold the inside line there. We're on to turn 8. A little bit slow through there. We'll see how he does.
Ooh, big lockup. Kind of deep into the penultimate corner there.
We're on the last corner. Hits the DRS on the main straight. Floors it to the line. And
10th fastest.
10th fastest. The 135.8.
Not bad.
Faster than a couple hard runners and faster than Shea B on the soft. I believe Shea B has a faster lap in him, but we'll have to see if he can't put it together.
It looks like he's just running laps right now out on the softs.
Yep, same thing with the Capita Hood. Looks like he's out there on his 3rd lap of the hards. Ruda, Gore, and Dedrum all on their, and Dragonbone, all on their 3rd laps of the tires with Rogue, Shea B, Doc Block joining them on soft, hard, soft respect.
It's an interesting decision, especially from Capita, who's up in 3rd. You gotta think he wants those tires for the race.
Yeah, he must not be planning to stay on those. Is that the one? I'm not sure if he knows.
He'll be locked in at 3rd.
Unless he can go faster on the softs.
I suppose.
Maybe he's just trying to get ahead of his opponents, saying, I don't need all the life of these tires. I can beat you with 4 laps left. Ketchum goes 2nd fastest with 132.2.
Well, he could if he doesn't bottle it this race.
That's true.
But
course,
we haven't seen him not bottle it, so maybe, keep your tires nice.
That's true. Maybe he needs that little bit extra grip on the last lap. Maybe he'll be regretting that decision like he was last week. Let's take a look at someone we have. Rogue running practice laps as well. Shea B practice laps on the soft. Looks like Creamy's going to head into the pits for potentially another set of tires.
Ooh, that's going to be corner cutting Kublai. Sadly make his lap invalid.
Let's see.
Oh, that's nice. When a driver invalidates their lap, the track map turns red for them. So if you ever see that on the screen, that's what that means. Go to Kublai, you can look at it.
Yep. It doesn't stay red, so you may have to be watching it at the time that it happens.
Oh, really?
Potentially. But it's the
No, mine is red for Stony as well, or it was. He just crossed the line.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, nothing from Stoney here. Track map still looks the same as it did.
Oh, it is red on my screen.
Well, Cody's has a couple things to figure out there, but that's nothing. Virgin King looks like he's finishing up a hot lap, 1 lap on these hard tires. Slams it down the main straight. He will go. 6th fastest, 1:33.6. Virgin King being sure to slow it way down, cool the tires off, take care of any of the wear, take care of the tires, make sure not to wear them excessively. For everyone in the chat, thanks for joining us. We got Mary, Nick, Faistus, Oliver, Styro Bum, Sterifium, maybe, James Trotter, and of course, Oliver, as I already said. Big supporters of the channel. We like to see repeat people out here every week. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you like what you're seeing, want to see more of it next week. Of course, we've got races on Mondays, we've got races on Tuesdays, we've got races on Wednesdays, and we have races on Fridays. So no shortage of Formula One, especially in the off season when you're missing it this time of year.
Yeah, and they're I've seen a couple of the other races, and they're all usually pretty good races.
Yeah, especially those Wednesday night races. Those guys really got it going on that PC Division 2.
Ooh,
Really
yeah,
know how to handle those tracks.
Yeah, that's a fun division.
That it is. Yeah. For those of you that don't know, Kermit, myself, and Cosmo, we both race in the Wednesday night leagues. If you want to see what we're like on track, not nearly as good as the top runners here, but still pretty decent. Feel free to check us out.
We still need our assists.
Yes.
Just the track line, though.
For those of you that are unaware, D1 is no assists, no track line, no traction control, no pit assist. All of that off. They're racing as you see it on the screen today, which makes it that much tougher. D2 assists are allowed up to a certain point. Cosmo and I both race with line only. We decided that, honestly, I think faster lap times can be put in without traction control.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think you can
Get a
just
better feel for the tires.
D-Drum seeming to pull out of his lap. Yes. Capital Hood on a flyer on the mediums. So they must get a set of mediums with the...
Yeah. It appears that way, which is good, because I think, yeah, they want to start on the mediums and not the hards. A little bit more traction.
Oh, Capita into the wall.
Oh.
And he retires from the session. He will, at best, be 7th on the hards.
Hopefully
Capita,
he doesn't do that in the race today.
Oh, I tell you. He's fast, but he is also consistent. Consistently in the wall, though that may be. Ketchum deciding to switch over to the softs. We got 3 minutes and 52 seconds left in the session. We will see how he does. I imagine he's going to be watching that leaderboard, watching for other people to set better times. He currently has his best time on the softs. Looks like he will be trying to set an even better time in the softs as well. Coming up quickly on Virgin King, does his best to get out of the way. On his outlap, and also taking a moment to mourn his lost teammate, Capita Hood. And nice job as he flirts it out of turn 13. Bit of a lockup going into the penalty. Comes around the last corner, clips the apex, goes a little less wide than he could, goes first fastest with the 1:31.7. However, he has to survive the Kubale, Stoney, Ruda lineup that is coming out of the pits currently. Creamy Johns has backed off on his mediums. Rogue looks to be on a flyer. Stoney crosses the line, starts his lap on the mediums.
It's an interesting decision for those top two on the softs. Maybe they plan on taking them long and going hards.
Potentially.
I
That
don't
seems
know.
like the only strategy. I mean, you could try the double stop if you think you're that much faster than the rest of the field, but I think it's going to be hard to be that much faster. Do we know what the pit lane delta is for this track?
We do not yet.
Rogue goes third fastest with a 1:32.4.
I don't think it's. I think it's on the shorter side for the tracks.
Yeah, not too much. You don't get to cut too much of the track with this pit lane. You basically
No.
get to move the last turn to a little bit slower turn and come out pretty much on the same main straight still. Ruda on a flyer. Dragon Bone starts his lap. Creamy Johns retires, happy with what he has done. 1:33.5, drops to 7th immediately after retiring.
Yeah, Persian King up to 4th. It's a nice lap on his mediums, and he retires.
Red Hornet happy with his lap. In 11th, decides, I'm going to choose whatever tire I want. Those of you that don't know, the top 10 have to stay with whatever set of tires that they set their fastest lap on. 11th through 17th in this case get to switch to any tire compound they would like to start the race. Tire compounds being hard, medium, and soft. Soft, going faster, lasting less laps? Yeah, I guess the way you say it. Shay B locks in his time, can only possibly go 6th fastest. Getchum as well locks in his time at 7th fastest. Rogue into the pits, decides his lap time is good enough. Kubale goes for its fastest with a 1:31.5. Ruda stays 7th fastest with a 1:32.9. Gore is going to be next across the finish line. 2 laps on these mediums. Sorry, not Gore. 3rd, he goes 13th fastest on his
Ooh, it
soft.
looks like D-Drum's got a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Shay B.
Ooh. I'm sure the
So
stewards will be
he
taking a look at that one.
will be starting from the back of the grid, it looks like.
D-Drum off to the side, obviously not on a flyer anymore. I think
Retired now.
Gore is the last of our drivers to set a lap along with Stoney. And there are the 2 left, both on mediums. Stoney comes barreling down the main straight. We'll see if he can improve. Goes 4th fastest with a 1:32.7.
Gore up to 4th.
Gore up to 4th, 1:32.7 as well. 1/1000th of a second faster than Stoney.
Wow.
Very close margin between the two. Nice job at Gore just squeaking out that
And even
little
down to Persian King there. 5/100ths of a second.
So that is not the starting order, because we have 1 grid penalty for a collision. So the starting order will change ever so slightly. Most penalties, drivers have a chance to appeal. Drivers are encouraged to tape their sessions and submit any incidents to the stewards if they decide that if another driver has impeded their race, their qualifying, that sort of thing. However, we cannot make changes to the grid on the fly, so whatever penalties are in place for the start of the race will remain. All right. A little bit of XP for me for
Just for hanging out.
just for hanging out. Look at that. All right, that is our starting order. Kublai first, Getchum second, Rogue third, Gore fourth, Stony fifth, Persian King sixth, JB seventh, Ruda eighth, Dragonbone ninth, Creamy Johns 10th, Capita 11th after his crash. D-Drum with a 5-position penalty will start in 12th. Red Hornet 13th, and
No, he qualified in 12th.
qualified in 12th. So then a 5-place grid penalty from there will put him at the back of the grid.
Yes, it will. Which is rough.
That is rough. You never want to be, well, starting from the back of the grid is not the end of the world if you have the pace, but you got to have the pace to make it up. If you start from the back of the grid and are never able to make up any ground, you're going to stay at the back of the grid. However, being at the back of the grid means you could avoid turn 1 incidents, turn 2 incidents, maybe safety car restart incidents, catch up some spots.
And this is a tricky turn 1 to share with other cars.
That it is. It's wide enough, I believe, for 3, maybe even 4 cars to go wide, but driving that is a much different story.
Right, and probably only 2 down into the second and third corners.
Let's go turn everything back on because Cody's decides to turn it all off for me. All right. Kublai leading the pack. Pack doing a pretty good job of staying bunched at the moment. Whoa, a little bit of a run wide from Gore. Must have been watching himself on the stream. He recovers nicely, though, and is back into it. He's got to get the gravel off the tires, got to get some heat into them.
And it looks like the Green Mamba did not make it into the session, so we'll only be starting with 17.
That we will. Dr. McShorty was able to load in, though. He did not qualify, so he'll be starting very last. But able to join the race, which is better than not, so. Still do not see Hammer Time 44 on the grid, so he has not made a showing yet this season. It will be interesting to see if the stewards decide to keep him on Mercedes, or if we're going to give one of these consistent reserve drivers a spot on a team. Ramrod's been this is his second race, third. This is his second race as well. Creamy Johns obviously is on a team. See, I think those are the only reserve drivers we have in here. D-Drum is a reserve driver as well. So, good drivers, deserving of a potential team spot. Kublai.
Yeah, I don't know how long they usually let it go.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see what the stewards decide absentee rates should be this season. Of course, you're only hurting yourself and your team by not showing up. No chance for points at that point.
Right.
Kublai really backing up this grid, not wanting to sit stationary on the grid for very long before the lights go out. Pulling into the grid now. Rogue pulls into a spot. Dr. McShorty in the back.
He is set in his spot.
Drivers will do well to watch out for the Green Mamba if he was not able to reconnect. And here are the lights. And they're out, and our grid is off. On the main drag down to turn 1, almost a spin from Kublai. Does good to recover. Into turn 1, we've got 2, almost 3 wide, with Getchum leading the way.
Looks like a Williams took a spin.
Williams spinning in the back. Other than that, it looks like most of the grid has come off okay. Gore up 2 positions. Getchum up 1 position into first. Kublai down 3 into fourth. Rogue stays consistent in third. Gore only 6/10 behind the leader, looking to overtake Getchum.
Yeah, it looks like Capita decided to start on the hards, and getting those 4 positions early will be real good for him. Now let's see
Absolutely.
if he can keep up on the hards. Oh, we've got a safety car.
Safety car is out. Drivers are to slow down and queue up behind Getchum. We have, it looks like, is that the Green Mamba is down, hanging out in the pits. That's not him. Red Hornet is the Williams bringing up the back.
Yeah.
My track map shows one car parked in the middle of turn. Let me see. Let me get that out of the way. Middle of turn 5 there almost.
I think that's a safety car.
Oh, it's just parked there. Oh, into the
And
pits for
Ketchum's gonna
Getchum.
dive in.
Says, well, with the safety car, let's change these
And
tires.
Did Gore just pass a Rogue there? Under the safety car? It looks like he gives the position back.
Getchum will get the tire change, but he will fall all the way back to the back of the grid.
Yeah.
Potentially, nope. He will be third from last, staying ahead of Stoney and the Red Hornet. The Green Mamba, of course, in the pits, was not able to rejoin. Safety car will be out for 1, maybe 2 laps. We'll send it around again. And see if we can't get a better restart. Safety car should be out long enough that Stoney and Red Hornet both get a chance to rejoin the pack. The only person choosing to stay on softs is Kublai, thinking he can get the jump.
Spy Tile. Yeah, he had a hot lap in. He qualified in 11th, and then he jumped up to 4th on the start.
Yeah, if you're Capita, you've got to like the position you're in.
Yeah, 6 is not a bad spot to be in on those hards. Hopefully, he doesn't get jumped by a medium runner.
It's true. If he can fend off Shaby, Bruda, Third, Dragon Bone, all fast racers, if he can fend them off with his hards, I think we'll like the position he's in. Kublai on the softs still. What do you think he's thinking about going into the restart?
He's gonna get new tires.
He's thinking, I cannot be the only one on these softs. They only are supposed to lap 8 laps most, 10 laps. If you push them, not gonna get him to the end of the race.
Well, the safety car would help. It can get him an extra 2 laps for almost for free.
That's true. A little bit of tire wear, of course, during the safety car, but not nearly as much as if you're trying to battle with others for position. To stay on the track behind the safety car, sometimes a little harder than it looks.
Yeah, especially when cars aren't going the speed you want them to be going. Your car's not going the speed you want it to be going.
Yeah, your tires aren't warm, all sorts of issues.
Oh, it looks like we got a collision between Deidrim and Dr. McShorty. Deidrim with a 5-second. Kublai passing his way up through the field. I'm not quite sure what's going on here.
Kublai should be staying put.
Yeah, he's up into 14th somehow.
Somehow. Let's go take a look. Let's see what he's up to. And the computer is apparently going to allow it because it's not telling him to not to. He didn't hit early enough to be ahead of them, did he?
No,
I didn't think so.
I don't believe so anyways.
Ramrod lagging severely behind at the moment.
Safety car for another lap.
Yep, safety car not in this lap. We'll be looking to go in, I have to assume, next lap.
I hope so.
So this is new with the update. I'm not sure we saw more than one, maybe two safety cars all of last racing league season. Now we've had two within the first three races of Division 1. Mainly because...
Oh, another collision. Sorry.
Oh boy, no, that's all right.
It's like two McLarens came together.
Oh, they never like to see that. We have Stoney, it looks like dropped a couple positions. Let's see, I'm not sure if it's possible, if the game locks out damage during the safety car.
No, Shorty's missing a lot of his front wing.
Oh, that's going to be rough for Shorty. He's not, yep, he's missing a good chunk of the left side of that wing. That's going to be rough. I have to assume the safety car is in this lap, and he's going to be basically taking a full pit under full race conditions. Going to lose all of that time, plus a set of mediums. And to boot, he had, well, at least he hasn't done a stop yet, so he hasn't wasted an extra set of tires, more than he needs to. Slowing down, ooh. A Renault off into the grass. Kublai dropping back a couple positions.
Back up in position.
This is more exciting than
safety
the
car
start.
in this lap. We will have a restart on this lap.
Safety car with the lights off. We are going to ride along on Creamy John's here on fourth. We'll see how he's able to do. I think the pod view almost gives you a better view than the broadcast view most of the time.
And it looks like third also got a 5-second penalty for a collision. Grant must have ran into the back of Ruda.
5-second penalties being handed out like they're candy in today's Division 1 race.
It's not a piece of candy I want.
No, definitely not. Normally I'd say this many accidents are attributed to the lack of racing line, but even then Gore almost runs into Persian King there. Persian King getting very close, right up beside Gore. Rogue, once he takes off,
he didn't get a penalty for it.
Goes around the corner. Creamy John floors down the straight. Rogue is miles ahead of Gore after the restart, 9/10. Looks like our top four is going to stay consistent with this, whatever this camera angle is. Looks like most drivers are able to get through turn one cleanly. Dr. McShorty still in the pits while the rest of the pack races away from him.
Yeah, that's rough. Oh, we got a spinning McLaren. Dragon Bone goes around.
Dragon Bone. See how he recovers. Ooh, facing completely the wrong direction. Has to turn around quick before he gets disqualified from the session. Third, dropping down. He is in a gravel trap. Doing his best not to take out a Williams on his way back in. All of our front runners running very close to each other at this time. Creamy John, 6/10 from Persian King. Persian King, 9/10 from Gore. Gore, only 6/10 from Rowe. Because this is one of the first laps after the safety car, DRS will not be enabled. Gore goes sideways off to the side.
We should have DRS lap 7.
Sector 3, yellow flag.
Gore
No safety
down
car as
even
of
more.
yet. Gore dropping more positions down to 13th as Creamy Johns attempts the overtake on Persian King, runs a little wide. Capita drops a position. No, stays fourth. Very close to Creamy Johns, Capita is. Might try the overtake into turn one here. Creamy Johns does a good job of covering the inside, but in doing so, drifts out to the outside. Stays on it into turn 3. 4, not able to make up any positions. D-Drum dropping a position to Red Hornet. Capita hot on the heels of Creamy, trying to make up for his mistake during qualifying.
And Gore's getting a new wing, and it looks like he's throwing on a new set of tires. A set of softs? Yeah, it looks like Gore's throwing on a set of softs. Doesn't think he can make the hards go to the end, I guess.
Nope, doesn't think he can make the hards go to the end. May not have a set of hards.
Possible.
He has, nope, that's his first stop, so he should have a set of hards if he started on the mediums. However, he decides, I've got the clean air in front of me, I want to try and set some fast lap times if I can. Ruda, 3/10 behind Shea B in 5th. Stoney staying hot on the heels of Doc Malak.
Looks like Ruda's going to make a pass here on Shea B, going down into the hairpin. See if he can make it stick. And that looks good.
Ruda doing a good job of covering the outside. Stoney up into 9th, passing Buble. Stoney only 1/10 behind Doc Malak. Looking to make the pass going into the last corner. DRS is activated this lap, so he does not have it yet. Doc Malak doing a little bit of swerving, he's got to watch that. Stoney into 8th position. Doc Malak looking to take it back going into turn 2 here. Turn 3 staying close. Turn 4, a little bit of a wheel spin. Stoney's going to pull away from him. Doc Malak falls back to 5/10. Almost opens the door for Kubele, who's only 4/10 behind Doc Malak. Doc Malak a little bit of a slide out, having trouble getting traction out of the corner. Top 4, top.
Yeah, the battle for second right now is real good.
Yeah. Kubele making the pass on Doc Malak. Doc Malak looks like he falls back about 7/10. Capita right on Creamy Johns. Creamy Johns right on Persian King. Should be an interesting battle for second.
And we'll see if he can't make a move down into the hairpin here.
So if you're Capita,
Like
are
he's
you
looking for a dive.
Goes on the inside, a little bit of contact. Persian King goes wide, might open the door for Capita.
No, Capita a little too far back. But Creamy gets the job done. We'll see if he can make it stick and keep it into turn 1 here.
The driver third down in 12th position. Capita with the DRS. Gains back some of the time of Persian King. Persian King seems to be slowing. Capita right on the heels of both him and Creamy Johns.
Yeah, and Ruda's following close behind them.
Ruda only half a second behind. If you're Capita, I think here you're not necessarily looking to make an aggressive pass. I think you're looking to save your tires, let Persian King and Creamy Johns battle it out, and when they dive into the pits, give it everything you got, set in some fast lap times, use up the last of those hards, pit in for your softs in the last minute, set some blistering lap times at the end of the race with no fuel, and go from there. I think that's the strategy he's on. We'll see if that turns out to be true.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad one.
No,
Yeah, I think it'd be tough. Just keep the pressure on, and if you get past, you get past, but it's going to be tough to get by on the hards, at least at this stage in the race.
James in the chat says Rogue's going to run away with it if these three keep fighting. I think you're right. This kind of fighting has a lot of impact on your tire wear. It makes the tire wear faster. It makes your lap time. Persian King down the inside. Tries to make the move on Creamy Johns. Cannot make it stick. Persian King going to try going down the main straight again. Persian King with DRS, Capita with DRS, and Ruda with DRS. The gap's opening and closing like an accordion. Creamy running a little wide, Persian with a little bit of a slide. Capita doing good to save his tires, stay right where he wants to be. very close to Persian King. The rest of the field looks pretty well dispersed. Red Hornet only 4/10 from Dr. Shorty at the moment. Let's check in. Does not appear to be gaining at a very quick rate. Ruda closed the gap temporarily between himself and Captain Hood. Persian King falling a little bit behind of Creamy Johns, now 1.2 seconds behind. Capita has to make a decision here. Does he want to fight his teammate for position? Looks like he's going to try down the outside. Potentially, Persian King gave him the position. Knows his tires are just a little bit older. Running down the outside. If you're playing for the team points, I think that's the right call. Persian King has a much better chance of holding off Ruda. Allowing Capita to make clean laps with his hard tires is probably the best thing you can do for the team right now. Ruda flying up on Persian King at the moment. Doing a good job to keep it stuck and not into the back of Persian King at the moment. Has to slam on his brakes a little bit more than he would have liked to avoid the back of Persian King.
The only problem with that pass is now Capita's out of DRS range of Creamy. So now Creamy's got a little chance to break away, hopefully for him.
That's true. Capita has followed his 1.9 seconds behind Creamy. Creamy 3.7 seconds behind Rogue. Able to close that gap by 0.3 over the last lap. See if he can continue on that pace. So we're already 10 laps in. Most people have 9-lap old mediums. Do you think they can make these mediums last another, what is that, 9 laps or so? And then change on to the softs?
I don't know if they'll go quite that long, but they'll have to make them last close to that. Maybe another 8 laps.
That's doable. Going 8 more laps on the mediums and then 10 laps on the softs is possible. Getchum goes down the inside of Ruda. Little bit of a lockup. Cannot make it stick out. Into the final corner, we will have 2 drivers with DRS. Closing quickly on Persian King. Ketchum comes barreling in, closes that gap on Ruda through turn 1, into turn 2, keeps the gap consistent.
Looks like someone's being shown blue flags already. Is Deidre that far? No.
Not quite.
But I saw blue flags flashing up on the screen.
Mitch, to answer your question, they do not have racing line, nor do they have any other assists. They are racing entirely assist-free. As you see it on the screen, that means any wheel slip is their own. Any turns are their own. They do not get any help from the computer on this one.
Nope.
Ketchum closing the gap very quickly to Ruda, has to slam on the brakes a little hard with a bit of a lockup. Ketchum and Ruda will have DRS down the straight as they cross the DRS line. Both closing the gap. Capita Hood doing a great job on those hards to get Persian King out of DRS range. Persian King is now 1.7 seconds behind Capita.
Yeah, and he's closing on Creamy. He's almost within DRS to Creamy.
Yellow flag, sector 3. We have a McLaren seems to have gone around. Doc Balak, I believe it is. Ruda closing that gap significantly to Persian King right on his heels into turn 1, allowing Getchum to make up quite a bit of time as well. Ruda making sure Persian King does not make any mistakes, keeping him honest. Capita only 1 second behind Creamy Johns, might have DRS down the next straight. Ruda only 4/10 behind Persian King. Getchum only 4/10 behind Ruda. Kublai in 9th within DRS range of Stoney in 8th. Dragonbone also very close to 10th. Doc Block into the pits. Gives up the position to D-Drum onto the hards. Doc Block has got to be looked to making those last to the end of the race. Getchum on the DRS. Pulls alongside Ruda. Down the inside, Persian King holds up Ruda just a little bit. Enough to let Getchum get the pass. We'll see if Ruda can't take it back on the final turn here. Looks like Capita Creamy Johnson's into the pit. Creamy John's dropping positions. Too early for the softs, right?
Unless he's going to go for the 2-stop, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
No, and I can't remember if he had mediums or softs on to begin with. I don't believe he did. So he has to switch onto the hards because you have to use 2 different tire compounds in this race, which may have been going through some of the heads of our drivers at the beginning of this race, trying to switch up tire compounds. Doing a medium stint seems strong for the rest of this race. Ruda right on the heels of Getchum.
Creamy puts on the hards and comes out in 10th.
Not a bad position, especially considering everyone ahead of him still has to pit. Ramrod dropping a position to Dragonbone.
No, but he'll have to either get past this traffic quick or hope they pit this lap.
Ramrod taking position back.
Otherwise, he's going to start losing time to Capita Hood, and Capita will get quick past him in this clear air, I think.
Great battle going on between Ramrod and Dragonbone at the moment. They keep swapping positions back and forth. I wish we could focus on that race, but our drivers in 5th, 4th, and 3rd are so close, it's tough not to watch them. Whoa, Ramrod with a little bit of a lockup, almost flying past Dragonbone. Gonna lose some time, might lose position to Creamy Johnson as well. It's only 3/10. Getchum able to make the pass onto Persian King, battling with Persian King going into the final corner. A little bit of contact. Persian King gonna try and take
here, though.
Persian King will get the DRS down the straight.
Getchum into a podium place for now.
Stoney up 2 positions with Ruda and Shaby both diving into the pits. Gore just finished up a pit stop, is now on the hards. Ruda gains a position with the pit. Dragonbone gains a position. Ramrod and Creamy all gain positions with the pits. We'll see if Kublai is able to make up that 17 seconds before they come out of the pits. Looks like Kublai will pass Shaby, but not Ruda. Persian King starting to struggle with traction a little bit on his 13-lap old mediums. They are rated to go 13 to 17 laps. At this point, we are within range of the hards finishing this race.
Yeah, I think you'd want to move to the hards pretty soon. Let them get their full life in.
Yeah, this is the make or break point. You either switch to the hards soon and make a lot of fast laps, you push them really hard, or you make these mediums last just a few more laps and try and get onto the softs.
Yeah, I think I'd switch to the hards.
I would as well in this case. I don't think the softs are good on lap 10. I think they are drivable, but only barely.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
Getchum, 5-second penalty exceeded track limits. So, Persian King technically retakes the position. Unfortunate for Getchum.
That's a rough track limit penalty.
That it is. Especially with
Rogue
position
into
he's
the
in.
pits.
Rogue onto the hards. Looks like he will come out 5th, just behind Stoney. Got to be liking that position. If you're Rogue, you've got hards. You know you're going to last till the end of the race. You're not going to have any trouble with those. Dragonbone into the pits as well, dropping positions. Shea B only 6/10 behind Kublai. 3/10 behind Kublai. Gets the DRS. Kublai has got to be looking to take those tires either to the end of the race or very close to it. 12 laps on the hard. Where do you think Kublay's tire wears at?
And it's probably sitting somewhere in like the 40% range. Maybe, yeah, probably about 40%.
Kublai falls behind JB.
He might be better on his tire wear than I am.
I think that window is about right. Depends on how hard you've had to push on the tires, but with the number of laps, I think he's somewhere around there, if not spot on 40%.
Mitch, we do a short quali.
Mitch, we have so many racing leagues here. We race Mondays, we race Tuesdays, we race Wednesdays, we race Fridays, and I know I'm forgetting at least one. So, do a lot of racing here. I think we'd love to do full qualies. I think it'd be a lot of fun to see. However, we already dedicate about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes to doing the race in a short quali. I think it's just enough time to get in the coverage, to get in the action, make sure we can see enough.
Persian King coming out of the pits on the hards.
Persian King, Getchum, and Stoney all looking to come out of the pits, dropping positions. Getchum will come out almost alongside Kublai, will have to make up the position. Getchum falls back to Stoney. Getchum looks like he had a little bit of trouble getting out of turn one. Might have lost a wing. Let's take a look. No, Getchum's wing seems to be intact. Just a little slow turn one for him. Shea B right on Persian King, only 4/10 behind. JB almost a corner cutting penalty there if it was not. Dragon Bone closing the gap nicely to Red Hornet, 13th to 12th.
And Capita coming into the pits. We'll see where he slots out here.
Besides, 15 laps is enough. Not going to try and take it any further. Do you think he fits the mediums here? Yes, he does.
Yep. Only chance he's got at second is if he fits the mediums.
Dragonbone will get the DRS activation down the straight and attempt to overtake his teammate.
Does he? Oh, and Creamy just gets by him.
Capita dropping positions. Shea B staying very close to Persian King.
Now we'll see what Capita could do because he's on the faster tire. And he's only 4 seconds behind Rogue, 4.5.
Red Hornet into the pits.
I think if Capita can get past Creamy quick here, he's got a shot at challenging Rogue.
I think he does. I think he has a shot of challenging Rogue up until the last lap where he's going to put it in a wall.
Oof.
Capita only getting...
Don't criticize him that hard.
No, Capita looking to be in a very good position here on faster tires, well within the window of what they should last. He only has to make them last 11 laps, and they're rated 13 to 17. Some idiot weighing in, of course, the feature reserve driver from Australia. Taking pole position as well as the fastest lap. Currently, believe it or not, second in our Drivers' Championship. Decided to sit this one out.
And Capita Hood soars past Creamy.
Yes, he does.
On the back straight.
I was not expecting that close. All right, Creamy John's looking to overtake position. Capita looks like he may have run just a tad bit. Capita, only 3.7 seconds left to overtake Rogue.
Persian King looking to take Ramrod in fifth as well. Try and do it into turn one.
Gets the pass. Can he make it stick? Ramrod will have to do a good job not to go into the back of Persian King, and he does. Slows it down. Knows he's on 15-lap old tires. Knows he's really not racing Persian King. Doesn't want to fight him too hard. Shea B looks to make the pass on Ramrod as well.
Try and make them last and go on to the softs.
Red Hornet up into 13th, passing third. We have a McLaren into the pits, Dr. McShorty. It will be close. He comes out in 12th. Dr. McShorty does. Ramrod potentially having connectivity issues. If you're Shady, you've got to be leery of getting too close to that car. Gore up into 14th. Capita only 2.8 seconds behind Rogue, looking to close it at least 2
he is
tenths.
flying.
He is absolutely setting in some fast lap times there.
Well, he's got to make up for the last 2 weeks.
That he does. If he keeps going at this pace, I think he'll have no problem passing Rogue, and if he can keep it out of the wall, he might have no problem taking first. Ramrod running a bit wide. Didn't see a penalty. Shea B getting by him on the straight, looking to make that stick. I believe Ramrod will let him have it. However, Kublai right behind Ramrod is going to try and make that pass as well. A little bit of a touch. Ramrod goes a little sideways but gets pushed wide. Ramrod can't be too happy with that. That opens the door for Getchum as well. We have a very close race between 9th, 8th, and 7th right now. Getchum, of course, on the newest tire with only 3 laps. Ramrod and Kublai have to be looking to pit soon.
He's starting to look like a real-life Haas. Far up the grid and slowly, car by car, back and back and back.
We know he has the potential. He's got the speed, but just can't hold on to it for the full race length. We'll see where he comes out. I believe Ramrod will be trying to pit soon onto maybe the softs at this point, and Kublai's got to be looking either to make him run to the end, get him with some lock up. Careful not to run into the back of Ramrod.
And it looks like they're both going to try and go for the...
Stoney, a little bit sideways, was coming up on Getchum. Getchum makes the pass.
Should have no problem making that stick.
Yellow flag, sector 1. I don't see anyone in the grass, so we should be okay.
Doc block. It looked like it pulled off to the side, maybe to let some people by.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cody's doing a good job to make sure that people passing does not trigger a safety car, even though they upped the safety car rate. Still a close battle between 9th, 8th, and 7th. Ramrod falling a bit behind. Getchum only 4/10 back on Kublai. Capita Hood keeping the gap pretty consistent to Rogue, 1.4 seconds behind. Stoney desperately trying to make up his time he lost during his almost spin to Ramrod. Ramrod has made his one required stop, so he may try to take these to the end of the race. Depends on if he feels he can.
Oh, that would. I don't think that's going to work for him.
No, that would be very long to take those. We are at the upper limit of what those medium tires can do currently. Going further would be ludicrous, in my opinion. Getchum going down the inside of Kublai, getting his wing just out in front. Doing good not to turn across the front of Kublai, giving him an uproot. Kublai falls behind. He's not getting quite a good have an exit on the penultimate corner. We'll try to make up that difference down the main straight with the DRS activation.
And Ramrod into the pits. A little deep into the pits, though.
Ramrod drops to 10th. Looks like he will drop to 11th, but that will be where he stays. Barring no major mistakes from his pit crew, Capita Hood almost in DRS range of Rogue. Let's follow this race. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, he should have DRS going down the back straight, unless he makes a mistake here.
Rogue has a lot of pace and a lot of life left in those tires. Wow,
Oh,
there
and Gore
is
out of the session.
yellow sector 3 Gore out of the session. We will see if this triggers a safety car before or after Capita is able to make this pass, or if it triggers one at all. Capita down the main straight, tries to pass Rogue, makes the pass. Can it stick? Going
Deep.
wide.
But he will have the inside line now for the next one. It looks like he's got it.
Looks like he'll make it stick for now. Rogue has the DRS down the main straight, able to keep the gap consistent, potentially close it. We'll see if he has the pace on these 7-lap-old hards versus the 5-lap-old mediums.
And what a race for Capita. I mean, he started down in 11th this race, and now he's fighting for a victory.
Absolutely. We've got a yellow flag, sector 1, sector 2, but looks like that's going to be a back marker. Doing a good job to stay out of the way. Does not want to mess up this action, especially while he's on camera. A little bit of a squirrely tail from Rogue there on the way out of the corner. Loses a bit of time to Capita. Capita under a lot of pressure to increase this gap. I think if he can get Rogue out of DRS range, he will slowly take chunks out of that gap. Getchum getting very close to Shea
Very
B.
close. Rogue's just going to get DRS here.
See how much time he's able to make up down the back straight.
Ooh, great exit for him. I don't know if he's going to be. I don't think he's going to be quite close enough to challenge here, though.
Not quite, but he might be close enough to challenge down the main straight. Breaks later than Capita, with a little bit of a lockup to show for it. Gets a good exit, about the same exit as Capita Hood, maybe slightly worse. Gets the DRS activation down the main straight, able to at least keep the gap consistent. Getchum getting very close to Shea B. Rogue now within 4/10 of our leader. Yellow flag, sector 3. We have a Williams off to the side. Can't tell if it is spun. That would be the Williams of Red Hornet in 14.
Yeah, I think so. He's missing some wing.
He will have to get out of the way of position 1 and position 2 on their way around this lap. Unless he's able to get to the pits, which he might. Shea B makes the pass on Getchum. Getchum makes the pass on Shea B. Shea B staying very close to Getchum. Rogue also staying too close to Capita Hood to look away.
Yeah, I think he's going to be able to challenge down to the corner this time.
Gets the DRS activation, throws that wing wide open, slowly creeping up on Capita, looking to make a challenge.
Ooh, not quite close enough to make that challenge. I thought he would be.
I thought so too. See if he gets it down the main straight. Runs it a little wide, no penalty as far as I can tell. Dropping back quite a bit to Capita, still within DRS range. Just didn't get that good of an exit onto the main straight. Dr. McShorty within DRS range, maybe barely, of Ramrod in 11th.
Kubler is still running on those hards. I think he's going to try and make him go to the end.
At this point, I can't see hitting onto the softs with only 4 laps left. It's just not enough time to make up any time.
No, so we'll see if Sony can make anything happen there. I know he's quite a bit away, but you never know when those tires start to get old. They could really fall off the cliff.
Yeah, sometimes that cliff comes at you, and it comes at you hard. As Capita can attest to, Ruda, I know, can attest to that as well at times. You'll be going around a corner you've done 27 times before, and all of a sudden, the grip's not there. Can cause
Yeah,
major
and
issues.
looks like Capita got out of DRS range here, and if he doesn't make another mistake, that it'll be tough for Rogue to get back in there.
I think you're right. It's just within that window. We'll check back. Dragonbone, 8/10 behind Stoney, looking to make the pass for position. Stoney trying to take the inside line, break the slipstream of Dragonbone a little bit. Yellow flags, Sector 3, nothing major. Rogue, Persian King, down to 7th. Shouldn't have said nothing major. Looking to shake up the midfield. Rogue back into DRS position from Capita.
Capita must have made a pretty big mistake. They lost almost a second, half a second.
Capita feeling the wear of those 8-lap old mediums. And those aren't just 8-lap old mediums, those are 8-lap battled on old mediums. Almost every lap of those 8 laps has been close to Rogue within DRS position. Dragonbone only 4/10 behind Stoney in 10th. Rogue could make the pass on Capita at any minute.
Yeah, and this back straight's a good place to do it. He's close enough right now to make a move.
Throws the DRS open as soon as he can, slowly creeping up to Capita. See if he can make
He's
the
not
challenge.
going to go for it this lap.
Gets
Looks like
right
he's
on.
trying to sneak up his DRS a little bit.
Dragonbone within 3/10 of Stoney. Looks like Rogue gets a slightly worse exit on the last corner down the main straight, but the DRS is helping him slowly claw back that time. Three tenths.
Ooh, Red Hornet with a penalty for ignoring blue flags.
That's always a tough one to see. It can be so arbitrary as far as the game is concerned, but most of the time you just got to get out of the way. I believe Red Hornet is holding up Ruda. Ruda's not going to be happy with that.
No, he's not.
Especially with, I believe, Creamy does have a time penalty, so Ruda only has to make up 4 seconds as opposed to the 7 or 8 that is on screen. Second to last lap, we have 4 drivers within DRS range. Rogue for first, Kublai for 7th, Dragonbone for 9th, Ramrod getting very close to passing Dr. McShorty for 11th.
Red Hornet with another 5 for ignoring blue flags. And now he's in the grass. With 10 seconds for ignoring blue flags.
Oh my goodness. That is too much. Red Hornet's really going to have to get on that. Gotta understand those blue flags and make sure he gets out of the way, because we just can't have... Being a back marker is fine. It happens from time to time. You're either slower, you just can't make up the time, but you just gotta get out of the way sooner than that. And I believe in order to get a penalty for blue flags, you have to have been within a second.
1 second, yeah.
For what, longer than 5 seconds?
I don't remember how long. It's in real life, it's 3 blue flags.
Sure.
I don't know exactly what it is here.
So that's the better part of a sector,
Yeah.
at the very least. As of right now, it looks like D-Drum is technically 1.8 seconds behind Red Hornet, provided D-Drum has no penalties.
Yeah.
Rogue staying within DRS range. Dr. McShorty, 3-second penalty for corner cutting. not only does Dr. McShorty now have to pass Ramrod, he has to pass Ramrod, make it 3 seconds past him. Dr. McShorty is able to make the pass. Let's see if he can put on 3 seconds.
Rogue's
Dragonbone
close,
up
but
to
not
Stone.
close enough to make a pass this time. We'll see if he can get it done on the last lap.
It's going to be some great last lap racing from our two top racers, Capita Hood and Rogue. Runs it way wide on the exit, doesn't catch a penalty for that, gets in the slipstream, opens the DRS, goes into turn 1. Little bit tighter line than Capita. Capita trying to hold it out. Rogue goes sliding. That may have been the race, but able to keep it just behind Capita at 2/10. Dragonbone fighting hard for 9th position. Says, I don't want 1 point, give me 2 of them. Rogue staying locked on Capita Hood, knowing he doesn't need to make any more passes than 1. Let's pop over to Capita, see how much ERS he has. Capita has just about as much ERS as Rogue does. Rogue one's very wide.
Way wide for Rogue.
That may have been the race for Rogue.
Yeah, that'll really hurt his chances.
That it will. Falling 8/10 behind. 9/10. Still within DRS range. He's going to have to make it up down this straight if he wants to take the position. That is a lot of time to make up, I've got to say. Throwing it into 4th ERS. The gaslight blinking away, saying, I don't have much left in the tank.
Less than a lap.
Rogue throws it up into 5th. Capita, provided he can hold it together through this last corner. Rogue goes very wide.
Doesn't. Pushing really hard, but Capita gets his victory this week.
There you have it. Capita in 1st. We have Persian King looking to make an overtake potentially for 6th position. Creamy Johns goes 3rd. Persian King slamming on the brakes. Shay B with a little bit of a lockup, going to allow Persian King just a little bit of a room. Don't think it's going to be enough. Looks like Shay B's going to take 6th on the grid. Persian will take 7th. Dragonbone only 4/10 behind Stoney coming around the last corner. Going to try to overtake him on the straight before the line and does not quite get there. Dr. McShorty is going to try the same thing on Ramrod. Down the back straight. Will get the DRS activation. Tries to close that gap. 5/10 currently and close it. Tries to take the inside, in my opinion, way too early. Ramrod with a little bit of a lockup, potentially giving Dr. McShorty room. Dr. McShorty, a little bit of spin on the exit from that corner. I think that's going to seal 11th for Ramrod. Unless he can pass him on the main straight.
Ooh, not quite.
Almost. Ramrod with a little bit of an imperfect exit on the last corner. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There is our finishing order, pending time penalties. Let's see what the stewards have to say at the end of the race here. Great racing from all of our racers today.
Yeah, that was a fun race.
That was a very fun race.
It's nice to see Capita finally get his win.
Yeah, well deserved. He's been out here putting in a lot of fast lap times. Hasn't been able to make anything stick for the whole race yet. But 3rd race in, able to get his 1st win, and I'm sure it won't be his last this season.
No, he's a talented driver.
That he is. Of course, we will have our top 3 drivers on the podium. We'll have them in for an interview. If you have any questions in chat, feel free to type them out. We might ask them if we can. It'll be interesting to see how Gore feels about his tire strategy. Rogue feels about his tire strategy. So there you have it. Capita Hood 1st, Rogue 2nd, Creamy 3rd, Ruta, Getchum, Shay B 4th, 5th, and 6th, Persian King, Kublai, Stoney 7th, 8th, 9th, Dragonbone, Ramrod, Dr. McShorty 10th, 11th, and 12th. 3rd, Red Hornet, Dedrum, Doc Block, Gore finishes it out 13th through 17th. Red Hornet had 2 time penalties, potentially cost him a position. 3rd had a time penalty. Dr. McShorty had a time penalty as well. But other than that, looks like a relatively clean race, except for Gore's DNF. Unfortunately, sometimes that does happen. Not much you can do about it, except make the best of it.
And Remy and and Capita started from 10th and 11th respectively, both on the podium. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is very impressive. And we had quite the comeback as well from Capita. That was an amazing race by him. I'm very excited to talk to him, see how he is feeling after that. All right, chat. Make sure add your questions for our top three drivers. We're gonna hop in. We're gonna wait for them to get into the voice chat. We're gonna talk to them. We're gonna see what's up. We're gonna see if they wish they would have gone with a different strategy. We see if I can actually hit the transition button on the stream, so we're not just looking at an empty lobby. All right, there we go. So we got that. All right, let's go ahead and jump in with Capita. I'll meet you over there, Cosmo.
All right, see ya.
Capita. We are on the air. How are you feeling after that win?
I'm feeling good. Feeling great, man.
Good,
It was a fun race.
fantastic. Yeah, that was very good. I think your tire strategy worked almost flawlessly. Is there anything you would have changed about it?
Nah, man. I had the unfortunate incident in qualifying, just flooring it too hard on the medium. So I was hoping to get out of the top 10 so I could start on the fresh tires, and going hard to medium seemed to be the ultimate strat,
Yeah, you'll be
even
happy
with a
to
safety
know
car.
we were riding along for that one as well, so we at least saw that one this time. However, you redeemed yourself quite nicely in the race. Were you surprised at the pace that Rogue was able to keep up towards the end of the race?
Uh, yeah, kind of. I also knew like the hards. They have this weird thing where they kind of have this little kick in at the end. So like when I was just before I pitted, I was setting faster laps than before, but I wanted to cover off cream, so I decided to pit for mediums to cover them off, and then it worked out. And then my medium started to go, and then I could feel Rogue coming up. So luckily, I didn't bin it this time on the last lap. It seemed like Rogue went wide in the last lap, so I was able to pull away out of that DRS and get the win. So it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Awesome drive to him, and congrats to them.
Yeah, you did a very good job of keeping it clean. Some very close racing. We got a lot of good footage for the stream. All right, any closing words on your first win of the season?
Surprised that it's China, but stay healthy out there, and yeah, that's about it.
All right,
Thanks for
thanks,
commentating
Capita.
tonight.
Yeah,
Great
we'll
race,
see you
man.
next week. Great racing.
Thanks.
All right, we'll see if Rogue is able to join us in. Any questions for Rogue from the chat, please post them now. We'll try to get them answered for you. We'll see if he can't hop in here with us. Overall, I think Rogue's tire strategy was a solid one. He
Yeah,
pushed his tires to the max, the hards. Obviously, held very good pace towards the end. He was able to challenge Capita with his aging mediums, but just couldn't quite keep it together.
and I think the restart helped him. He got away pretty well, and no one else seemed to behind him. There was just a lot of battling.
Yeah, Rogue did a very good job of keeping the pack bunched until the very last corner, deciding to send it down the straight. Rogue, welcome. You're on stream.
Hello. Yeah, I didn't know if y'all want to be in here, so I didn't
Yeah,
join.
definitely.
Yep, absolutely.
Want to talk to you. No questions from the chat currently, but we have some questions for you. Tire strategy. How do you feel it went?
Uh, went according to plan. I probably should have pitted a lap earlier. Realistically, if I wanted to make it closer, but I just went longer, just thinking that Capita's tires would go off towards the end. I don't remember what lap he pitted, but I didn't know what his state of tires were. But it was I did what I wanted, so it worked out well.
Yeah, it seemed like your strategy was very consistent. The hards didn't fall off nearly as much as Cosmo and I were expecting towards the end of the race. You were able to keep it pretty much close to the end of Capita, or the back of Capita, the whole race.
Yeah, I was just saving ERS for that whole time behind him,
Mhm.
and because I like throughout that entire first stint, I was just bone dry of any energy at all. So I was having to So I just chilled behind him till the end and made a mistake and lost any chance of really fighting. So
Yeah, at the end, it seemed like you might have had a chance to make the pass, but just a little bit of a run wide on the last lap, I think, sealed it for Capita. However, that was an extremely good challenge. Very fun to watch. Any closing words on this race or hopes for next week in Baku, if I am correct?
uh, great race for Capita. Good job on the reverse strat, and just well done, Baku.
All right. Well, we'll have a chance to see you both next week. Hopefully, we'll get another close race. Street circuit next week, a little bit tighter racing. Good luck to you, and congratulations on the second place victory today. Solidifying Ferrari's position at the top of the tables is for sure.
Thank you. You guys have a good night.
You as
You
well.
too, man.
All right, so as I mentioned, they're very strong showing from Ferrari. I believe Ruda was in fourth after that. Cream, welcome to the voice chat. You are on stream. How do you feel about that showing today?
Um, I'm surprised I didn't finish further back, to be honest. I had maybe what 2 laps in qualifying as a warm up, so plus a setup that I never even tried out before. Just kind of send it, you know. It was all right.
Picked it and sent it. Is there someone you have to thank for the setup, or is it one that you typically use?
Uh, no,
Just
not
don't want
really.
to
No.
reveal his secrets.
Not gonna show us how it's done today. Overall, yeah, it seemed like you were able to hold third pretty well. Didn't have too much of a challenge throughout the race. I think there was a lot of close racing between you and a little bit more of the midfield. I'm having trouble remembering. We were focused on Capita and Rogue for a lot of the end of the race. Would you have changed anything about the way you pitted today? Would you have maybe not pitted under the safety car? What are your thoughts?
I actually thought about pitting under the safety car, but
Oh, that's right, you did not.
um, no, I didn't. I decided to stay out. Like, maybe I could have gone. No, there's actually no reason because I started on the mediums anyways. No, I probably wouldn't have changed anything. But yeah, it was a pretty boring race up unless until after the pit stops I had to like go through some traffic, but other than that it was a pretty boring drive, you know.
Yeah, I didn't have much chance or much problems with that traffic. It didn't seem like. I know we had some penalties handed out on the grid for ignoring back markers, so I'm sure we'll see that in the incident reports coming up. But overall, great third position. And any hopes for Baku next week?
Uh we'll see how many people crash and then I guess I'll let you know.
All right, sounds good. Do you think you'll be among one of those that crash in Baku?
I hope not. I guess we'll see. I
We
hope
will
not.
see. Yeah, we'll be watching the castle section very closely. Of course, that sharp left hand into the sharp right hand that catches a lot of drivers off. So we'll be watching for you there. Good luck and congratulations this week.
Cool. Thanks, dudes.
Great, thanks, Cream.
Good night.
All right. Well, that concludes it for us tonight at Pole Position Racing, a very exciting race in Shanghai. We had a lot of close battles. Again, one of the things we seem to see week after week is we may not have the whole field bunched up on top of each other, but we do have pockets. We have the top 5 fighting for position almost all race. We have 5 through 10 fighting for position almost all race, and then of course um, below that there are very close contentions as well.
Yeah, and it's usually good, clean racing, not a lot of bullying or forcing people off the track, which is nice to see.
No, that's absolutely nice to see. A broken wing here, uh, a little bit of bump here, slight loss of downforce. That makes for good racing. You got to hold your lines. You got to know the car. You got to know where it's going to go. You got to be expecting it to slide out. All of that. But what didn't happen, at least I didn't see it, as we didn't have anyone barrel into anyone else, snap an axle, that sort of thing. That always makes for a disappointing
No.
race.
Yeah, it really does.
Awesome. All right. What do you think we're looking for next week in Baku? Who do we think our strong contenders are going to be?
I mean, I think Capital will be strong again. Rogue is always strong. Creamy's always a strong racer. everyone seems to be pretty quick up there in the top 5, so I think any of those guys have a chance to win. As long as they can keep it out of the wall. It's a tough track to keep it out of the wall, Baku.
That it is. It can go in a split second. Even if you don't completely bin it on the castle section, it is a street track. The walls are very close to the circuit. All it takes is a little bit of extra tire wear to be into the wall just a little too hard. A little bit of wing loss of downforce on your wing will get you the boost down the straight, but it won't help you in the corners there.
No.
Great. Well, this has been Kermit
And I'm Cosmo.
from PPR Racing signing off. We thank you everyone for coming out tonight. James, Oliver, Mitch, Nick are the ones I can see on the screen currently. Thank you everyone for joining us. We'll hope to see you again next week. This time, be sure to stay tuned tomorrow for Xbox League, Wednesday for PC League, and Friday for another Xbox League. We'll make sure we have the card up for next week, but please subscribe on YouTube. You can find our full stream schedule there. Follow us on Twitter. We'd love to see you there. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night, guys.